Welcome to the Streamline to Scale podcast, where we help online business owners just like you go from 6 to 7 figures with ease. I'm Erin, and after years of working with companies to achieve sustainable growth, I've learned that the key to success lies in simplicity. Tune in to the Streamline to Scale podcast, where we're turning business dreams into reality. Hey there, welcome back to the Streamline to Scale podcast. I'm Erin, CEO of Premier Virtual Operations and creator of the Streamline to Scale program. I'm super excited that you're here with me today because we are going to talk about something that gets a little bit of attention in the online industry, but not as much as I feel like it really deserves. And those are automations. So we're particularly going to talk about how automations can support your team, how you can implement them, and how they can really propel your business to the next level and turn it into that automated machine that we're all striving for. So, I'm the virtual team person. Everybody comes to me. I've been nicknamed the queen of teams. So why am I bringing up automations? Does that not put the team out of business? I get asked that a lot, especially with AI expanding. I get asked very frequently, will technological advances put teams out of business? So the short answer is no, it will not put good team members out of business. Now, of course, there are improvements with technology. There's places we can tighten up, and maybe we don't have to hire as large of a team as we normally would, but automations coupled with your team are really the dream scenario for you to propel your business to the next level without sacrificing your entire life in the process. So you've heard me maybe say this frequently, but the automations and the systems of your business, or the tech and the systems of your business, turn it into an automated machine. But what happens is you still need your team to run the machine because you don't want to be the person responsible for pulling the levers and pushing the buttons. So you need to have people who do the actual inputs and tell the machine or the automations what to do while you're doing your high-level thinking tasks that actually propel the business to the next level. So today we're just talk a little bit about automations, why they help, and I have 6 steps to implementing automations in your business in an easy and effective manner. So first, why do we want automation in our business to start with? I hear people all the time that worry that if your business becomes too automated, it takes the human factor out. Or if it becomes too systematized, people worry that your clients will feel the impact of that and they'll realize that it's more tech and less you. And so I'm never advocating to have a fully automated business where you have no face-to-face client interaction, or your clients feel neglected, or they don't feel a human touch. But there is a happy medium where you can actually improve client satisfaction while you're also increasing your efficiency, reducing your costs, and it improves accuracy across your whole business, right? Because we don't have human error like we do in things that are done manually. So that's some of the reasons why we want to talk about automations. Now, when people think about systems or automations, they automatically become overwhelmed and they think of a big, huge project with a massive scope. And in reality, sometimes simple, small automations make the most difference in your business. So let me give you an example for my own business. I have a really hard time remembering to do notes after sales calls, and then to do like the follow-up after the sales call. If you've ever been part of my world, I'm pretty big on follow-up. I try to stay connected to the people that I meet with and just people in general, because I'm in the business of connections. It's important. So I was struggling to really have a system in place where we remembered to follow up with people and where I remembered to enter the notes. So one simple automation I put into my business was a Zap that automatically created a task for me in my project management board anytime someone books a call. From that task, from that simple one automation, it was good, right? It helped me. I later set up another automation that sent me a notification. So it would say, hey, Erin, enter your notes. What about this person did you love? What makes you want to work with this person? What is their business about? All of those things. So that comes to me, right, in a reminder, a notification in my project management tool. And so I can see I need to automatically update my records. So from there, I created another automation within my project management tool where a certain date hits, the call book date hits, they move into a follow-up sequence where, again, I'm sent automatic reminders to follow up. So at the 3-day mark, the 6-day mark, the 9-day mark, and I don't remember my exact dates. I have them set in there, but we have automation set to notify me or the team, depending on what type of follow-up we're doing, where automatically follow up with those people. So it's been very helpful. And that was an automation that maybe in total took me 15 minutes from the start, right? And then we kind of grew it from there. And that's the goal with the automation. People get overwhelmed thinking they need it all at once, but really the simple steps to the automation are what make it the most effective, because you're evaluating and tweaking as you go, as opposed to like just putting a major automation in and going back later, figuring out it was a hot mess somewhere in the middle and having to redo it all. So that's one example in our own business where we implemented an automation that became so much more efficient because I didn't lose email addresses coming across. I didn't lose call dates and things like that because I took the human error out of it. It also has increased efficiency, right? Because I'm not hunting those things. It's increased revenue because my follow-ups are in the pipeline now. I know exactly who I need to follow up with every day when I sit down at my desk. And so it's propelled my business forward, and it took about 15 minutes. But those small automations, sometimes we overlook. So we're going to talk about 6 steps to implementing automations in your business. So the first step is to really identify where you need automations. So one way we do this is we use system mapping and time studies. And what those do are they tell us exactly where the holes are in your business. And you've heard me talk about time studies. If you followed the podcast for any time at all, I bring up time studies over and over because that really allows us to see where people are spending too much time. And we find a place where they're spending too much time. Like in my example would be sales follow-up. I would see that either I was spending way too much time there or it wasn't on my list at all, which was like, I was guilty of that. And I know as a business owner, sales follow-up should be somewhere in my time tracking, and it wasn't. And then from that time study, what we do is we move over and we map out the current systems we have. So really, I like to map systems as they appear in the client journey. It starts from the marketing phase all the way through to when we offboard the client and follow up with testimonials. So what we would do is we'd sit down and map out every system we have in between there. And that's not all inclusive of your systems that you have in your business, right? Because there's going to be some, like you have Google Analytics, and that maybe doesn't fall within the client journey. That's going to capture the majority of them. And that's really going to let you see the systems that directly impact your clients, like that sales follow-up system. So when you're mapping out your systems, what you would do is create a basic timeline of how your clients flow through the journey into your world, through your world. You could have several different scenarios, right? We have different marketing strategies and different streams of income and all those things. So start with one. If that's overwhelming, start with one small area, map it out. What do you have? Where do you have holes? So where is there a need for an automation that there isn't one? And that's really the first step, is you're just going to figure out what type of automation you need. Is it sales follow-up? Is it client onboarding? Is it something to automate your marketing further? What do you need as far as an automation? Now, once you have that system map, you know what you're looking for, you see where the holes are. The next step number 2, would really to be research your automation options. So some people will use automation and system interchangeably. In my world, an automation is a piece of tech that runs within your business. It's a truly automated, you are hands off, it's set up, it runs on its own. A system is a process or a series of processes by which you do something in your business. It's the system which you run your business off of. Now, you might have a sales system that contains different processes, different automations. All of those are part of that one core system of sales. In step number 2, you're going to research automation options. Now, does this have to be you researching your automation options? You know what I'm going to say here. I'm going to say no, because it's going to be a team member that you go out and you say, hey, I need a new client onboarding system. You need the automation that runs that system, right? Or the piece of tech that runs that system. So some examples, your assistant may come back with Dubsado, Honeybook, so many out there now. And that's a whole nother podcast on the different types of client onboarding. But what you would do is look at those and see which one of those really works for your business. Cost-wise, which one falls in line with your budget, which one takes the best care of your clients so that I always advocate for client care first. So that's going to be automatic. Which one makes your clients happiest? So because we want those referrals and we want that retention. So we want to look at which provides the best experience for your client, which provides the best experience for your team. Because one thing you don't want to do is get a fancy piece of automation that's going to bury your team, but not be useful. Not be useful to a client, not be useful to your business, and that can happen. So you want to really look at all those things. Some common automations that you look for: social media tools and schedulers, Google Analytics, payment processors, client onboarding, and then even automations within your project management tool. In our own business, the automations within our project management tool make a huge difference. And then step number 3, so now we've identified the automation you need. You've researched your automation options. Now, step number 3, it's time to put this automation in your business. Is it a huge automation? Is it a huge piece of something like Dubsado or a client onboarding, Google Analytics, and you are not skilled in Google Analytics? If that is the case, hire an expert. Don't muddle through. Don't try to go learn it on your own, because you'll spend way more time and waste way more money than if you would go hire an expert to put this one piece of thing in your business. If it's a smaller automation, like I just described my little Zap for my Calendly, then yes, that was something I easily could do myself. So you have to weigh the pros and cons. Can you do this yourself? How long will it take? Is it more cost efficient for you to do it or a team member? And you could have a team member that comes to you and says, hey, I'm very skilled at XYZ. A lot of teams we run have tech people on them, so it makes automatic sense. The tech person is going to implement the automations. If you are not one of those people, then there's a whole world of tech people out there who can do things relatively quickly. And we have some places, some go-to places that we look for tech people. If you do have any kind of questions about that, please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction for tech people. So if possible, you're going to hire an expert. Or if necessary, you're going to hire an expert. And again, like I said, if you need to know a couple places to go look that we've found success, please reach out and ask us. Step number 4, so you have your automation in place. You know it's the right automation. You know it's filling a hole. Step number 4, you're going to train your team. Train your team. Do not ever expect your team to pick up a new piece of tech and run with it, even if they've used it in the past. Even if they swear 6 months ago in another business, they have used this exact same piece of tech. They have not used this piece of tech for your business. So you need to sit down. Maybe it's a company-wide meeting or a division meeting or a one-on-one meeting, depending on the size of your business. You sit down with these people, you go over the new piece of tech, you point them in the direction of where they can learn more so they become experts, not only in the tech, but how you want the tech used. So you really need to set up a process from the beginning. What's the goal of the tech in your business or the automation? How will it be utilized? What benefit will it provide? And then when it comes to actually training on the specific piece of tech that runs the automation, don't ever underestimate the value of the online tutorials that the companies put out. I see this a lot. People come to me and they're like, just for simplicity's sake, we'll use Monday.com because I'm very familiar with that. Like, I want to implement Monday.com automations in my business, but I need to train my team. So the number one thing I would do is that if I was going to train my team on Monday.com automations, is Monday has an incredible library of tutorials. The number one thing they would do would be to go watch those free tutorials on Monday.com library, because that's easy, that's simple, it's available, it's free, it's easy access, all those things. And there's no better training than comes from the people who've created the system themselves or the program themselves. So that's start there. People overcomplicate it, like they think they have to buy $1,000 programs. Start there with the basic tutorials. If you need more, certainly go look for more, but start there with the simple and the easy. Now, step number 5, you have the automation in place. Your team's trained on it. So now what you need to do is monitor the success of the automations. So you want to look at things like cost savings, increased productivity, improve customer satisfaction, do some surveys. Is it made a difference in your business? Has it made it, ask your team, has it made a difference for them? Are you seeing more efficiency on their timesheet? Are you seeing efficiency in things getting done quicker? Because that's a cost savings, right? Because the less you're having to pay, the quicker you can turn things over, then that means more revenue for you because you can bring on clients quicker and faster and with better satisfaction from clients, which leads to more retention, more referrals, all the things. So you want to monitor those. You want to look at the KPIs behind that, see if they're actually making a difference. You don't want to pay for something and you don't want a piece of tech in your business that doesn't make a difference in your business, simply because it becomes very bloated and clunky. And I've worked with clients that they have little tiny pieces of tech strung all through their business, so much that they don't even know what they're using anymore. And they're not sure why it's there. They don't know what kind of an impact it's making. It's not helping customers at all. Sometimes it's even creating frustrations. So you want to constantly monitor the tech and the automations you have in your business to make sure you don't bloat your business, because an online business should be simple, easy, definitely not bloated. And then step number 6 is you want to refine. So you want to continually improve all of your automations in your business. This is not a one and done. This is a continuous process where you sit down and you look at it again and again and again to see if there's room for improvements. Do we still really need this? Because your business is growing every day. It's growing. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to use things you used 6 months ago. Sometimes it makes sense to use more of that thing or expand it. But sometimes it's just no longer necessary, and that's fine. But you have to just stay on top of that in your business. So like I said before, you don't experience that business bloat, or you become not as efficient as you could be had you analyzed the system and looked at it and made improvements on it. So you want to set a time like on your CEO days. And this is something your team could do too, to get feedback from the team, evaluate that system. Like I said, you want to just sit down every 6 months or so, evaluate the systems in your business, the automations that you have running, see if there's places you can improve. If you have a large team, ask your team for places to improve. Don't go to every little bit of your business yourself, because you'll get bogged down and overwhelmed. But that's really the 6 steps to implementing automations within your business. So remember, the goal is that the automations and the tech and the systems combined really turn your business into an automated machine. But then your team is the driving force behind that machine. So you are not running the machine. They're pulling all the levers. They're pushing all the buttons. You are just the mastermind in the sky, making the decisions, creating the driving force that's moving the business forward at all times. So just to recap the 6 steps, we identify areas where you need automation, research your automation options. If necessary, hire an expert. If not, if it's small, implement yourself or have a team member implement yourself. Remember, we're not going down the rabbit hole of learning all these new pieces of tech and trying to implement ourselves. Train your team. Step number 4. Step number 5, monitor the success of your automations. And step number 6, refine. And there you have it. That's the way that you put automations in your business to turn it into an automated machine. If you have any additional questions, reach out, chat with us. You can contact us by email. We always love to hear from you. If you love this episode, please like, subscribe, follow. And you can also find us over on the Ethical Hiring Hub in Facebook, where we connect phenomenal talent with amazing business owners. So we would love to see you on any of our other platforms. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Streamline to Scale podcast. We hope you gained valuable insights on scaling and streamlining your business. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Remember, growing your online business can be easy. By focusing on developing lean, effective teams, creating simple systems, and implementing smart business practices, you can take your business to the next level. And if you're ready to take action and start growing your business today, head over to our website at premiervirtualoperations.com to learn more about our services and how we can help you reach your business goals. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of Streamline to Scale.